guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be filming our first time tag.
You guys asked for it. We asked you in our, what video was that? Oh, the How We Met video. We asked you guys if you wanted to see our first time tag. So that's what we're going to be filming today. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Everything will be linked below. Let's go ahead and get on into it. So the first one is our first date. So we did talk about this in the How We Met, obviously, because the first time we met was our first date. But yeah, we met at a Indian restaurant and we had dinner.
Well, technically we met on Tinder, but that's all
Yeah,
in the video, so.
But I mean in person.
Yeah.
We met at an Indian restaurant and we had dinner together, and that was our first date.
We considered lying to people and telling people that we actually just randomly met at an Indian restaurant. We didn't actually meet on Tinder first, so technically it's not a lie. Our first kiss was also on our first date, and Abby was very smooth.
If you want to see the reenactment, I will put whichever side it's on. I'll put the tag to that video, and you can watch the reenactment of our first kiss. But basically, our first kiss was on our first date at your apartment complex. In your bedroom, on your futon, next to your bed.
Yeah.
And we were watching Troll 2. The question you've all been wondering, our first time spending the night.
It was on our second date.
However, we did not spend the night, right? I went home after.
Did you?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, because...
So I guess you didn't spend the night, yeah.
But spend the night was our second date, and I took her out to sushi, to my favorite sushi restaurant, and then we went back and watched a scary movie. You can use your
Didn't really watch the
imagination.
movie.
One thing's led to another. And that's how we have this beautiful boy!
Aww.
Just kidding, we adopted him later. So yeah, that is our first time spending the night. When was our first time, like, me actually sleeping over or you sleeping over? I feel like it was me sleeping at your apartment.
Yes, I remember. I don't know what date it was, but I remember we had plans to hang out later that day. And I remember as you were leaving, you said something like, okay, I'll just see you later today, I guess. And I thought, she's getting sick of me. I was like, she's gonna get so sick of me, but you didn't.
Wait, so did I go home and then I came back?
You spent the night and you had to go home just because, like, you were gonna go do something at home. And then later that night, you came back.
I don't remember that.
I remember it because I remember thinking she's gonna get sick of me.
I didn't. Maybe I did.
So our first time saying I love you. We also talked about this in the other video.
I know, we shouldn't have talked about so much in that one video, but the How We Met video, we also pretty much reenacted how I told Julia that I loved her first. It's a very unfortunate story, so if you want to see me embarrass myself, I'll put it up here again. But basically I said I love you first.
It was like an accident. She like spilled the beans.
Yeah, I accidentally said it. But then she told me that she loved me too, like what, an hour later?
Yeah,
it was the same night. So
Yeah.
I did love her, but I didn't mean to say it. So I was thinking it, and then I guess I don't have a filter. I don't know what happened there. Our first fight. This was before we were actually dating. Do you remember?
So we were like casually dating, but we weren't like girlfriend dating.
Yeah. We were supposed to hang out that day, weren't we?
Yes.
We were supposed to hang out, and I was with another friend, and I just kind of like lost track of time, I feel like. But so she went off and like did something else. Didn't you like go off to the bar or something?
Yeah, I was just like hanging out with my friends. It wasn't.
Yeah, and then I texted you. I don't even remember what happened. Did I text you and I was like, do you still want to hang out later? Or
yeah, so
she got salty because I was hanging out with other people and I didn't like let her know or something.
Well, because I had thought we were hanging out at a certain time, and I was like, I think I like texted you or something and you just never responded. And so then I got like all upset about it. I was like, I'm just gonna go out with my friends.
Salty! She's so salty.
And then when she texted me and she was like, okay, well, do you wanna hang out now? I was like, well, I'm not gonna wait up for you or
yeah,
something.
she was
really
kind of
like
rude.
that.
And so I was like, fine, I'm done dating you then. And then I remember like I went home and I don't remember what happened. Did we like what?
I remember I sent you a bunch, we like kind of like made up just like over text.
I thought of something.
What?
It was awkward. So we were still kind of like, what's going on? Like we didn't like have a fight because we weren't like girlfriends. But the next day, she went on a hiking trip with me and my family.
Yeah.
And we hadn't like, not like we didn't need to make up because it wasn't that big of a fight, but we hadn't like talked about it.
Yeah.
And you came over and we went on that hike with my family.
And that was like, I had met your family before, but we hadn't all like hung out together before. And I was like really tired because I think I had gone out to the bar with my friends that night before, and so I was like really tired and probably a little hungover. But then she invited me and I was like, well, we kind of got into this fight last night, so do I have to go?
That's the only reason you went?
No, that's not the only reason I went. But yeah, it was like kind of like, there was like this little tension there.
Yeah,
but
then I think we kind of just like forgot about it. I can't remember what happened. Guys, this was like 3 years ago. So it's kind of hard to like remember.
Yeah.
I wish we would have like started like doing YouTube videos sooner because this really was so long ago that it's so hard to remember. We've been almost married for a year and we've been like with each other for almost 3. So it's been a while. First time knowing each other was the one. Do you remember?
I remember, because I remember laying in bed thinking, I want to marry this girl.
When though?
It was, we hadn't been living together yet, but I don't remember exactly what happened. You were just hanging out with me one night. We were hanging out and then you like went home because we weren't living together. And after you left, I just was like feeling like so good and happy and just like that warm fuzzy feeling. And I remember thinking like, this girl.
Aww, that's so cool, baby.
And that was the moment I knew. But I don't remember why. It was just like, and this is how it's been our whole relationship, is it's just the little things, you know? Just like, I just feel like we fit.
I just feel like oh, here come the waterworks. Julia cries about everything.
No, I don't. I just love you. And sometimes when I tell you I love you, I get emotional.
She cries about everything. If we start talking about anything, she'll start crying. I tell her I love her and she starts crying.
It's just I love you so much.
Oh my god. For me, okay, there was like this one time, this was like pretty like in the beginning of our relationship. I wouldn't say like I like knew you were the one, but I was like, okay, this girl, I like her. We had been hanging out in Provo and you lived all the way in Salt Lake, and she was gonna ride the train back up because I think you were already down here with friends, so you like didn't have a car, like your car was at your apartment or something. And so I was gonna drop you off at the train station because she refused to let me drive her home because it was like a pretty long drive. So she like refused and I was like kissing her goodbye and she was like doing something stupid on the curb. Do you remember that? You were like trying to hop up on the curb at the train station.
Oh, there was like a big like tall curve or something.
Yeah,
and I was
trying to
jumping
jump
up on it.
And I thought it was really
her.
funny. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but I was like, oh, she's so cute and funny. But then when we like did realize like, oh my gosh, like we want to marry each other, do you remember?
Yes, when you were at Bombay House.
Yeah, this is really weird. We were at one of our favorite Indian restaurants in the area and we were like talking. How did it get brought up? We were like basically just like talking about like, I want to marry you, and I was like, I want to marry you too. And then we felt really awkward because we both started crying in the restaurant. So then we had to ask for to-go boxes because we were like, well, this is pretty weird.
Yeah, because we had like really briefly talked about marriage before, but more in terms of
it was
like
never
it's something
like,
we both want.
Yeah.
It's like not really like let's marry each other, you know. And then it would like turn into this thing like
I want to
yeah,
marry
like
you.
we're gonna
But it
get
wasn't
married.
like we were proposing to each other. It was
Yeah,
just like
it was just like we suddenly realized that we
want to marry each other.
yeah. All of our firsts have happened at Indian restaurants.
Yeah, what is that? We really like Indian food.
Yeah.
And she almost proposed to me at an Indian
That's true.
restaurant.
That was my number 2 idea to propose to her, was to go back to Bombay House. But I'm glad I didn't, because ours was more like
She proposed to me on the beach, and I think that was way better. She took me to Disneyland for my birthday.
And then the day after her birthday, we went to the beach.
And I was very pissed off that day because I really wanted her to propose on the trip. And I was like getting pissed off because it was our last day there. So I was like doing my makeup and I was kind of like, I can't believe this, whatever. And then we're at the beach and she proposed and it was really cute.
I remember right before we went and you were sitting on the bed doing your makeup. And I took a picture because I
we
just
should
felt,
put the picture here.
Yeah, I just felt so like warm just looking at you sitting there and knowing what was about to come. And
I was all pissed off because you hadn't proposed yet.
She had no idea I was gonna propose. She didn't know I brought the ring with us. I brought when I proposed, we had this little like book.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like our adventures.
We put pictures in it and like write little like the date and like what we did.
Yeah.
So we look back on it, like a little scrapbook.
And so I put in there,
Julia
proposed to Abby. So that's how I did it. She was looking through it and then
I'll like post pictures on it. But yeah.
Well, that was our first time getting engaged.
Engaged? I feel like we just got into that question.
We did.
Oh well.
Question. We just started talking.
It's fine. First time going on vacation together. I feel like that was when we went to Disneyland when you proposed.
Yeah.
Like vacation. We had like gone small places, but that was like the first time we like went on a plane together.
Yeah.
Right?
We had the plane ride, the hotel and everything.
Yeah, so that was like our first like big vacation.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. How about that?
First time living together. We moved in
pretty quick.
But
not very quick for lesbians, let's be real.
Well, and we had casually dated for several months before we were together. So that was like slow moving into becoming like committed to each other. And then from there, I think it was like 6 months or so.
6 months? No, we had our 6-month anniversary when we lived in that house, remember?
Oh, so it was less than 6 months.
Yeah. I feel like it was like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It didn't feel scary though.
No, it didn't.
Like I feel like normally it's like scary, like getting yourself into that situation, but I didn't feel scared, and I knew that like it was gonna be good.
Yeah.
And it worked out, so.
Yeah. I'd say it worked out.
Yeah, we rented like a little like apartment or whatever, and then now we moved into this house. So we've only lived in 2 places together.
Yeah.
But we've been living together for like 2 years. Yeah. Alright, so that's pretty much it for all of our first times, because you guys wanted to know the juicy because you're all sickos. But make sure to subscribe, and like I said, follow us on Instagram. But if you have any video requests that you want to see from us, let us know down below. And let us know that you are subscribed and have your notifications on so we can give you a shout out in our next video. Today's shout out goes to
Gladys Della Merced. I'm sorry if I butchered that.
But thanks so much for subscribing and having your notifications on. Yeah, bye guys.